Welcome to Python lecture everyone. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about a dictionary. See guys, we all have, I believe, gone through a dictionary in our childhood. So where we try to find out a meaning of a particular word by following a dictionary. Any kind of a dictionary, maybe an Oxford dictionary. Majority of us has followed. Nowadays, we try to search those words on a Google, right? So every time, whenever dictionary comes into a picture, then its word and its respective meanings comes into a picture. And this is what we try to follow even in this particular collection or particular object, which I'm going to discuss in this entire chapter, which is a dictionary. So where we try to store a data in a form of key and a value pair. And so many databases nowadays you will be able to find out which does the same thing. So many data structure which we try to go around. So always try to follow the similar kind of a structure, key and a value pair. Now key can be unique and value can be a repeated one. Anything is possible. So let's try to understand, let's try to explore a dictionary with the help of practical example, everyone. So I believe my screen is visible to all of you, and here I'm going to create a object called as D, and let's suppose if I'm going to give a curly braces. Now if I'm going to check what is the type of this data type, so type of this particular D, so you will be able to find out that it is giving me type is equals to dictionary. Now, similar kind of a curly braces we have been using even for a set. Now, in case of dictionary, so it is going to be a key value pair. In case of a set, it is going to be a unique element. You will be able to understand this entire explanation. Now, so I have already talked about the set, right? I believe we are already aware about what is set and how we can try to create a set. Now, let's try to focus on dictionary part. Now here, we are able to create a dictionary. That's completely fine. Let's suppose if I'm writing D1 and DICT, if I'm going to write, and again, if I'm going to check what is a data type of this D1, it is going to give me dictionary. So I can try to create a dictionary by using this curly braces, or maybe I can try to create a dictionary by using even this particular approach. In both the way, I will be able to form a dictionary, which is nothing but a key value pair. Now, again and again, I'm talking about a key value pair, key value pair. Now, what is the meaning of this particular key value pair? Let's try to understand. So here, I'll try to create one simple dictionary for all of you, where I'm going to write name, and name is equals to my name. Let's suppose if I'm going to write SUDHANSHU, and then comma, I'm going to create another key, email underscore ID, and here I'm going to fill up some sort of a data. Sudhanshu@gmail.com. Fine. Now, so I have made some sort of a mistake somewhere, it seems. Now here, so I'm supposed to give colon. Okay. So here, this is the very first dictionary which I'm able to create. If you will look into this dictionary data, so name that I have written over here is basically represents a key, and this is a value. Again, this is a key and this is a value which it is trying to represent. If anyone is going to search what is a name, it is going to return this one. If anyone is going to search what is an email ID, it is going to return this particular one. Now, with key, there are some constraint which is involved. With values, again, there are some constraint which will be involved, and we'll be talking about all of these things in very detail, that which data set we can try to utilize to create a key, which data set we can't use to create a key. Everything we are going to discuss in this particular chapter one by one. Plus, I will be talking about a dictionary inbuilt functions as well. There are so many inbuilt functions you will be able to find out. Let's suppose if I'm going to type D2 and then dot, there are so many functions you will be able to see. Clear, copy, from key, get item, keys, pop item, many things are available. So I'll be talking about majority of these functions which has been used commonly while doing a programming or coding. Now here, I'm able to create this particular dictionary. That's completely fine. Now here, the very first element, this one is called as key. Again, this one is called as key, and this is basically called as a value. As of now, I'm trying to create a key with a string, right? I'm able to create a key with respect to a string. So first of all, let's try to play around with the keys, and let's try to understand what and all things I should use as a key and what and all things which I'm not supposed to use as a key, with the help of a couple of examples. So here I'm going to create a D3, and again, curly braces. Let's suppose if I'm going to use a number 12 as a key, and then value is equals to my name. Execute. Now this is working well. Now here I can try to use, maybe instead of number, I'm going to use has over here and then execute. Now this is giving me an error. It is telling me that it's an incomplete output. It's a syntactical error which I'm able to receive. So a special case character I am not supposed to use at any point of a time as a key. But at the same point of a time, I can try to use integer as a key that is feasible in case of a dictionary. Now, some of you may give an argument that if I'm going to wrap it up inside quotes, right? Let's suppose if I'm writing a quotes and inside it, if I'm going to wrap it up, it is working. But it is working. Obviously, it is going to work, but it will become a string. Like I said, with respect to a string, yes, it is going to work. You can try to create a key with respect to a string, but you will not be able to create a keys with respect to a special case character like has or maybe percentile, maybe at the rate. So you are not supposed to use it. If you are going to write it down inside a single quote or maybe inside a double quote, then it is going to work. Then it is not going to complain at all, because in that situation, it is going to treat it as a string. Okay, now moving ahead. Let's suppose I'm going to take the same example, and here, so instead of taking a hashtag as a string, what I will do is I'll try to take a list. So any list item I can try to take, and then I'll try to form a key over here. Unhashable type list. So it is not going to support list as a key. I'm just trying to find out, so what and all things are possible and what and all things are not possible. So you are not supposed to take list as a key. Okay, that's completely fine. Copy the same example. And then let's suppose I'm going to take a tuples over here. Instead of list, I'm going to take a tuples in this particular place. Execute. And tuple is working. Tuple is working as a key. So you can take a tuple, but you will not be able to take a list as a key. Now, let's try to take maybe a same example, and this time I'm going to pass maybe a set. I just have to change the curly braces. So this is basically a set. Now, unhashable type set. So again, set I can't consider. This is basically a set. So set I can't consider as a key. Tuples, yes, I can consider as a key. List, I can't. Set, I can't. I'll take the same example, and here, so I'll try to take maybe a Boolean value, FALSE, false, true or false, anything I can try. So here, tuples, or sorry, Boolean values I can try to consider as a key. That is feasible. Now, let's try to take another example, and here I'm going to take maybe some sort of a decimal number. So yes, decimal numbers are allowed, integers are allowed, Boolean variables are allowed, tuples are allowed, sets are not allowed, lists are not allowed, special case characters are not allowed. So I'm just trying to show you what is allowed and what is not allowed while creating a key at any point of a time. Now again, I'll try to take the same example, and this time I'm going to take a complex number. So here, this plus 78j if I'm going to consider. So yes, complex number I can try to consider as a key. That is possible. Now I'll try to take the same example, and here I'll try to place a dictionary inside a dictionary as a key. So let's suppose I'm going to name it as a key, and then I'm going to give a value, simple value, right? Execute. So now dictionary inside a dictionary, I can't take it as a key. Maybe with values, it is going to be valid, but as a key, I can't consider dictionary as a key at any point of a time. I can't take key value pair to create a dictionary's key. I'm just talking about a key as of now, guys, nothing else, right? So these are the things which is allowed and the other things which is not allowed. And I believe we all are able to get a fair understanding about this entire step. Now, let's move ahead and let's try to create a dictionary D4. I'm going to show you a couple of more permutation combination with respect to key itself. So let's suppose here I'm writing name, okay? Name, and name is equals to, so in case of dictionary, you are supposed to use colon. So here I'm going to write SUDHANSSU, okay, fine. And then I'm going to create again a name. Okay, fine. I'm going to create again key as a name. So previously I have already created a name as a key. Again, I'm trying to create key as a name, and here I'm going to write SUDHNSHU KUMAR, execute. Now, if I'm going to check what is a value which is available inside my dictionary. So see guys, try to focus over here. So key was name, and again key was name. same, right? Without any spaces or anything. So this key was same, name and name. Now it is trying to show me which one, the last value. So what it means, it simply means that in case of dictionary, key is supposed to be unique all the time. It is not going to complain if you are going to repeat the same key 10 times, 20 times, or maybe a n number of times. It is not going to complain at all. But which value it is going to consider? It is going to consider the last one, the last updated value it is going to consider at any point of a time. And that is the reason it is considering this particular key and a value pair inside a dictionary. It is not storing this one at all. Yes. So I can try to create a same key as many times as I want, but it is not going to store it inside a memory. It will always try to update. If key is same, key is exact same, in that case it will always try to update it with the latest value at any given point of a time. Okay, fine. So I believe we are able to get a fair understanding about our keys, that what we should do, what we should not, and keys should always be unique in case of a dictionary. It is not going to complain, but it is going to update with the latest value for a particular key. Even in case of MongoDB, right? So in MongoDB, you will be able to find out a key value pair in many places, in many NoSQL kind of a databases. You all will be able to find out this kind of a key value pair. In many data structures as well, you will be able to find out this kind of a key and value pair, which you are going to implement going forward in a future. Now, so let's try to create another dictionary, D5 this time, and here I'm going to create name, and name is equals to, let's suppose I'm writing SUDHNSHU, SUDHANSHU. Okay. Now I used to teach multiple subjects. So SUB, JECT. Subject is a variable, or subject is a key which I'm going to create. Now I can try to keep a value as a string as it is visible. Yes. So I can try to create value as a string. Now here I'll try to create a value as a list, and let's try to understand whether it is going to consider it or not. So I used to teach programming language. I used to teach data science, let's suppose. I used to teach big data. I used to teach data analytics. I used to teach sometime even web dev. And I used to teach sometime maybe a DSA. So here, if I'm going to execute it and if I'm going to print a D5, I'm able to find out all of these information. As you can see that it is trying to hold all of this information in this particular key and a value. Again, we have a key, and value wise, we have this entire list. So inside this particular list, I can try to hold any kind of a data that I want. I can try to hold maybe a string based data, maybe a numeric based data, maybe a tuples I can try to hold, maybe list inside a list I can try to hold, maybe dictionary inside a list I can try to hold, maybe set I can try to hold. I can try to hold any kind of a data, and there is no such restrictions with respect to this one. So yes, list I can try to consider, right? List I can try to consider as a value. Now moving ahead. So this is the same dictionary I'm going to consider, a D5 dictionary. And here, so let's suppose if I'm going to create another variable. So where I'll try to write maybe email ID, email underscore ID as a key. And as a value, I can try to hold maybe a email ID, right? I have a multiple email ID. So I have sskumar9876@gmail.com. Maybe I have another email ID, so which I can try to hold over here. So called as sudhnshu@gmail.com, execute. So here, if I'm going to print D5, you will be able to find out that there is a key, and yes, values is been stored in a tuples format. So value could be a tuples, value could be a list. Depends upon me how I'm going to hold a data, how I'm going to store a data set. Okay, that's amazing. That's great. Now here, again, I'm going to take a D5. Let me break it down so that it will be readable to all of us. Okay, fine. Now here, again, I'm going to take maybe some different kind of a data set this time. So maybe I'm going to take a phone number as a key, phone underscore number as a key. And here I'm going to write down my phone number. This is not my actual phone number, right? So here I'm just trying to showcase you that we can try to take even values as a integer. That is pretty much possible. Let's suppose if I'm going to store height over here, okay? So height over here. So maybe 176.45, something like that, in a decimal format, in a floating point number, I'm able to store it, okay? Then we can try to store maybe a male. So male is like a true. So I'm just trying to hold maybe a Boolean variable over here, right? So all of these information as a values I am able to consider. Now if I'm going to print D5, you will be able to find out all the information, name, and then subject, then email ID, then phone number, then height, and then male is equals to true. All of this information I'm able to hold inside a single dictionary itself. Now let me add a couple of more values inside a same dictionary. So here, maybe I can try to store address over here, right? So address, maybe I can try to hold it as a string, prestige, and then 34. Let's suppose in this way I'm going to hold the address. Let's suppose if I'm going to hold maybe my lucky number, right? So here lu lucky underscore number underscore, it should be number. And maybe I can try to hold it inside a set. Let's try to understand whether it is allowed or not. Maybe I can try to repeat some of the number inside this one, and set will be able to filter down automatically. So now if I'm going to print D5, you will be able to find out that in a set, I have repeated couple of numbers, right? 4 has been repeating itself, 3 has been repeating itself. And here you will be able to find out that when I'm trying to hold a data in a form of set, it is trying to remove all the numbers, right? All the duplicates it is trying to remove, and it is trying to keep only a distinct value. So this is the power of dictionary, guys. And believe me, you all are going to use dictionary again and again and again, many times, not just once or twice. Even going forward, you will be able to find out that there is a file system called a JSON, JavaScript object notation file, which follows the exact similar kind of things. Okay, now here I'm going to copy the same dictionary D5, and I'll try to add a couple of more values over here, right? So let's suppose resume. Resume is one of the object which I am going to create. Resume. Now inside a resume, right? Resume is one of the variable which I have created, as you can see. And inside a resume, so I have to store many things. I have to store my email ID, I have to store my LinkedIn, I have to store my GitHub, I have to store my projects, I have to store my work experiences, many more things. I have to store my certifications. So many more things I have to store inside a resume. So what I can, again, in a key value pair, obviously I have to store. So maybe as a value, I can try to create a dictionary inside a dictionary itself. And let's try to see whether it is going to hold all of those values or not for me. So here, maybe LinkedIn, right? So maybe I can try to store a LinkedIn over here. So let me fetch my LinkedIn URL, guys, so that I can try to hold it over here. So this is my LinkedIn. Let's suppose I'm going to store. Then GitHub, right? Inside this, I can try to store GitHub. Okay, fine. So let me try to pull out my GitHub, okay, and my profile, fine. So let's try to hold a GitHub, okay, fine. Age, let's suppose if I have to hold, so age, yes, I can try to hold it, so which is basically 30. And then I can try to hold maybe projects. I have to hold, so projects I have to hold over here. So I have worked on a multiple project, so maybe I can try to keep it inside a list. So I'm trying to create a dictionary. Inside that I have a key, and for that value I'm trying to keep a dictionary. Again, dictionary, inside a dictionary I'm trying to hold what? I'm trying to hold a list inside this one. So here I have worked on a multiple project. So let's suppose I have worked on Megatron, one of the latest project. I worked on basically lab project. I worked on a internship portal. I worked on a safety project, which was a computer vision based project. Hand safety. Okay. So these are the projects which I'm able to add. Now let's execute and let's see how my D5 looks like. So much of information I'm able to host inside one single variable inside this particular dictionary, as you can see. And the amazing thing is I'm able to keep dictionary as a value. See, this is one of my dictionary, and inside that again I'm able to use a list. So everything, whatever we have studied so far, so forth, we are able to utilize it inside a dictionary itself. I have even used tuples. I have even used a set over here. I have even used a list over here. I have even used numeric value, floating point number, everything I have used over here. And then I'm able to create a values, right? I'm able to create this entire dictionary's values. Simple, right? So dictionary is literally an amazing data structure that you all will be able to find out, or a collection that you all will be able to find out inside a Python. And this is how we can try to create a dictionary with the help of key and value pair. Now, so far, we are able to understand that what is allowed in a key, what is allowed in a values. So key should always be distinct or unique, and value can be a repeated one. It's completely fine. So you can repeat the values. So for the different keys, there could be a same values. It is not going to complain at all. So values can be a duplicate, but key should not be duplicate at any point of a time. Now, next part. I'm able to create a dictionary. That's completely fine. But now I have to fetch a data. So creation is done. Now I have to fetch a data. So maybe I have to fetch this particular name. Yes, I have to fetch this particular name. So let's try to fetch this particular name. Now, how I will be able to fetch this particular name? So maybe I can try to call a key and it is going to return a respective value. So I can try to write D5 of name. So in case of a list, in case of a tuples, we try to give indexes. So basically those indexes are nothing but it behaves like a key. Yes, in case of a list, in case of a string, in case of a tuples, those indexes always behaves like a key. Now here we are trying to give our own named indexes. So here if I'm going to write down, so D5 and then again same procedure, bracket, bracket, square bracket, and if I'm going to write name, I'm able to get my name. Simple, right? I'm able to get my name out of this one. So this is how I will be able to fetch a data set. Now let's suppose if someone is asking me that try to give me your LinkedIn profile. So try to give me this particular data, especially this particular data, try to give it to me. How I will be able to get it? So again, you have to follow the hierarchy. So on a very first label, how I will be able to reach out till this part? How I will be able to reach out till this part? By using this particular key. So if I'm going to write D5 of here resume. So this is the data which I will be able to fetch. Now this is again what? This is again a dictionary. I can try to check what is the type of this one. I can try to check what is the type of this one. So basically it's a dictionary. So this is the dictionary. Again, value has been stored in a key value pair. Now, if I have to get a LinkedIn, this URL out of this entire information, so how I will be able to get it? So maybe I can try to call this particular key and I will be able to get the data. So fine, resume. Again, another bracket I can try to place over here and I can try to write LinkedIn, and here is my data set. I can see that yes, I'm able to get the data. Simple. Yes. So this is how easy it is to get a data. Let's suppose if someone is asking me that try to extract this internship portal, this information, only this information, try to extract out of this entire dictionary. I can do that as well. So what I will do in a first place, I'll try to get this resume part. Okay. Now this is the dictionary. This is dictionary. So what I will do, I'll try to get this project part. So, okay, resume. And then out of this resume, I can try to access this project part. So I'm able to get this particular list, and we all know that list always try to store a data by using indexes. Now this internship portal is available at which index? 0, 1, 2. I can simply write 2 I'm able to get this data. So any information which is available inside a dictionary, doesn't matter at which hierarchy data is available, you all will be able to access the data in a easiest possible way. This is how simple it is in case of a dictionary. Yes. So now we all know that how to fetch a data with respect to a dictionary. So we know how to create a dictionary. We know how to fetch a data out of the dictionary. Now let's try to understand how we can try to update a dictionary. So D5, okay. Let's suppose there is a height. Okay, there is a height. Now I would like to update a data over here. So dictionary is basically a mutable collection. So you will be able to update any kind of information which is already available over here, or maybe you can even try to add the new information that is possible with respect to a dictionary. Now this height is wrong, let's suppose. So I have to change this particular height. So how I will be able to change it? Maybe I can try to call D5. Inside that, I can try to call height, and then I can try to update this information. So see, height is going to give me this, and this information I have to update. So maybe I can try to write over here 165.78 execute. And now if I'll go and check the value of D5, it's been updated. It's been updated with my recent value. So you just have to give a keys over here. So whatever data that you have to update, whatever data, whatever information that you have to update, you just have to give a key over here, and then it will end up updating its respective values. This is how simple it is in case of a updation operation with respect to a dictionary. Okay, fine. Now let's suppose if I have to add a new entities. Yes, I have to add some new key value pair. So how I will be able to add a new key value pair without using an inbuilt function? There is an inbuilt function which is available. Yes, there is an inbuilt function which is available, but without even using those inbuilt function, how I will be able to add a new entity? Let's try to understand that particular part as well. So we have D5, let's suppose. Now inside this particular D5, I would like to add some more information. So maybe I can try to add this time. So name is already available. My email ID is already available. So which information I should add? Subject is already available over here. So maybe I would like to add a company. So in what and all companies I have worked. This is what I would like to add over here. Fine, not an issue. So D5, and then I can try to create a variable called as company. Okay. And then I have worked into a multiple companies. So what I can do is equal to, and then as a list, or maybe as a tuples, maybe as a set, I can try to add those information. So here I can maybe try to add Bipro, and then Deloitte, Delloite, I believe this is the spelling, Verizon, and then E and Y. So let me keep it inside double quotes, and then I can try to add iNeuron, right? Execute. Now if I'll go and check D5, see, this new key value pair has been added. So at any point of a time, if we have to add any values inside a dictionary, simple, call that dictionary variable, try to give a new key. If there is an existing key, it will update like we have done before. If it is a existing keys, so in case of existing keys, it will update. If key already exists, if key doesn't exist, it will try to create a new one. So this is how I will be able to add a new information. So I can try to add as many information as possible with respect to a dictionary. It's not at all a rocket science. So hope all of you are practicing this entire things with me, and all of you are able to understand this particular part so far. Now here, let's suppose if I have to access the data, I know how I can access the data. And even I know that if we have to access a dictionary inside a dictionary, how we can try to access it. Now let's try to understand couple of inbuilt function, because inbuilt function is again given to you in a very rich manner. You will be able to perform a lot of operation, lot of information you will be able to extract just by using a inbuilt function. So here, let's suppose I have D5. If I have to know that what in all or how many number of elements or data set is available inside this particular dictionary. So what I can do is I can simply use a length function, and it is going to tell me that how many data set is available inside this dictionary. So in total, there are 10 key value pairs are available. Now, when I'm talking about this 10, I'm talking about a first label of key value pair. I'm not talking about this internal one. See, we have a dictionary inside a dictionary. It is not going to count that particular part. It is just going to count the outer one, I would say. So let's count it manually and let's try to cross verify. So we have one information, then we have second information, then we have third, then we have fourth, then we have fifth, then we have sixth, and then this is the seventh one, this is the eighth one, this is the ninth one, I believe. Resume is the ninth one, and then this is the 10th one, this is the 11th one. Okay, so I'm able to get 11 information but manually, and here so it is giving me technically 10 information, I believe. Let's count once again because this function can't be wrong. System is trying to perform this operation. So name is 1, subject is 2, so starting from here going till here, and then email ID is 3, phone number is 4, height is 5, mail is basically 6, address is 7, lucky number is 8, resume, yeah, it's going till this point, right? I have counted project last time. So resume is 9th and then company is 10th. So obviously system can't be wrong, right? So maybe I can do a mistake as a human being, but system will not make any kind of a mistake at any point of a time. So we have in total 10 number of data set inside this dictionary. So again, it is just trying to count the first order or first label. It will never go inside the second order at any point of a time. Let's suppose I would like to print all the keys which is available inside a dictionary. Again, on a very first label, all the keys I would like to print. So here D5 dot, I can type keys and it is going to give me all the keys on a first label. So these are the keys which is available on a first label. Now you can ask me a question that let's suppose we have a dictionary inside a dictionary. Now for this particular dictionary, I would like to print all the keys. That is also possible. How? So what I will do is, first of all, I'll try to reach out till this point. So till resume point, I'll try to reach out. So D5 and then resume. So this is the data. Now this is the dictionary in itself. I can try to write keys over here and it will try to give me keys for this particular dictionary. This particular dictionary, it is going to give me all the keys. As of now, it is giving me keys just on a very first label. If there is a nested dictionary, means there is a dictionary inside a dictionary, I will be able to do that as well, which I have already shown you with this particular example. So, okay, we are able to access our keys. That's completely fine. Now, this is basically available into a dictionary keys list. If I'm going to wrap it up, let's suppose if I'm going to wrap it up inside list list, I will be able to get a proper list element. As you can see, I will be able to get a proper list element. If I'm going to wrap it up inside a tuples, right? Inside a tuples, again, I can hold it inside a tuple. That is also possible. Maybe I can try to hold it inside a set, but that doesn't make any kind of a sense. Why? The reason is by default keys are unique. So there is no meaning of holding it out inside a set. By default keys are going to be unique. Now in the similar manner, if I have to access maybe all the values, first label values only, not values inside a values or like keys inside it if we have a dictionary and then we have a values, not that one. First label of values, I can access that as well. So values and execute. So these are the values that you will be able to see, that you will be able to get. If I have to hold all of these values, maybe inside a list, I can hold that as well. So list and then try to hold it inside a list. So in one single list, I'm able to get all the values. And then inside the list, we have a dictionary, right? We have a dictionary. Inside a list, we have set as well. Okay. So even this is possible. You will be able to fetch all the values and you will be able to fetch all the keys. Now let's suppose if I'm looking for all the keys and values in a form of tuples. So there will be a list, and inside that, in a key value pair, tuples will be available. So let's suppose if I'm looking for that kind of a outcome, I can do that as well. So here what I can do is I can write d5 dot, there is a function called as items function. Now if I'm going to execute it, it is going to return me a dictionary with a list. So dictionary item with a list, as you can see, and inside that we have a key value pair, we have a key value pair, we have a key value pair, and so on. We have it inside one single list as a key value pair, and all this key value pair is been represented as what? As a tuples, as you can see. All of this is been represented as a tuples. Now here I can try to fetch it, and then maybe I can try to hold it inside a list. That is also possible. So this is a entire list, key value pair in a tuples. Again, key value pair in a tuples. Again, email ID and key value pair in a tuples, key value pair in a tuples, key value pair in a tuples. So we are able to hold each and everything inside a single list. Now this is not a dictionary format. This is a list format. And as a tuples, we are holding key and value pair. Yes, as a tuples, we are trying to hold key value pair. So this is what items is going to perform. Now, so here we already know that if I have to fetch any kind of a data, so how I will be able to fetch it? Simple, dictionary variable name and write a key. It is going to give you the value. Now that is a manual approach. We have some inbuilt functions as well to do the same thing, exact same thing that we were able to do it with the help of dictionary and then by writing a keys. How I will be able to do it? Let's try to understand. So d5 and then dot, I can write get. So get is an inbuilt function. Now here, if I'm going to pass a key, right? If I'm going to pass a key, it is going to give me the respective value. So let's suppose if I'm passing a name. So what is a respective value of name? Name as a key. So what are the respective values? So it's a Sudhanshu. Now let's suppose if I'm trying to pass maybe a resume over here. Sorry, not items, basically. Get d5 dot get, and here if I'm trying to pass resume, I'm able to get the whole data. I'm able to get the whole values. So I can go even in manual way, and I can even go in with the inbuilt function. So with the help of both the approach, I will be able to perform this operation. Now same goes with the update. So we all know that how to update a data, right? So just try to call d5 or dictionary name, then bracket key, and then it's updated value. You can try to write it down. We have already seen those kind of examples. Now there is a function, right? There is a function which is available inside a dictionary, which you can try to use for updating a values. So d5 dictionary dot, I can try to write update, and then I can try to mention maybe an updated value over here. So with the help of this, I will be able to update the data. So here, let's suppose name wise, I would like to change the name, right? Whatever values we have for the key name, I would like to change it. I would like to mention Sudhanshu and then KUMAR, execute. So there is some problem. So name and then comma I have to pass. Update. So I don't think that it should give me an issue. Sorry, colon. Yeah. Invalid syntax once again. Oh, okay. As a dictionary, I'm supposed to pass. So I was making this kind of a mistake. I don't use this one frequently. So I generally use the previous one, which I have already shown it to you, because that is like a easy peasy approach for me instead of calling the inbuilt function. So here, now if I'll go and check what is D5, name Sanshu Kumar, which has been updated. So I can even try to do an update operation with the help of update keyword. Now, let's try to talk about d5.pop. Now, if I'm going to execute it, right, this pop, so it is telling me that I'm expecting one argument. In case of list, we have done the same thing, and it was trying to extract what? It was trying to extract the very last element. But in case of dictionary, if you are going to write a pop, it will always require one single entity. So what you would like to pop up. So here, let's suppose if I'm going to pass, in case of pop, I'm going to pass name over here, execute. And now if I'll go and check what is D5, name is gone. As you can see, name is gone. Yes. So I can try to delete a name. I can try to pop up a name with the help of pop inbuilt function. I can try to delete it at any point of a time. Now let's try to understand next one. So here we are trying to pass a keys and then we are able to pop up the element. Now let's suppose if I would like to do the same thing but not based on the key. I would like to pop up the item with the help of values. So there is a function called as pop item. So I would like to delete maybe this 30. Yes, I would like to delete maybe this particular 30. Execute and takes dictionary. Okay, let me execute it. Okay, yeah. So pop item, and pop item is going to pop what? The very last one in this way. Now if I'm going to check D5, so my company detail is gone. Simple, right? With this one. So pop item is another function that you will be able to find out. Now there is something called as copy, right? There is something called as copy. So here copy is nothing but copy just works similar to the list that we have seen, a deep copy and a swallow copy. So copy is just going to copy data into some other instances, into some other memory location, and then it is going to give you the final result. So for example, D6 I'm going to create and I'm going to write D5 dot copy over here. Now what will happen? So it will try to create another instance of D6, right? Another instance of D6 it is going to create. And if I'm going to perform any kind of operation with D6, it is not going to interrupt my D5. It is not going to do any kind of a changes or any kind of a modification with respect to D5. And this is simply called as swallow copy. I believe I have already discussed about a clear difference between a deep copy and a swallow copy in my list lecture. Right? I have given you a proper amazing explanation about a deep copy and a swallow copy. Now, similar kind of operations, we are able to do it even over here. I'll show you the example. So what I will do is I'll just go and I'll try to clear out all the items or all the data which is available inside D6. So here I'll write D6 and I'll try to call clear. So now if I'll try to print D6, there is no item. There's no data. But if I'll go and if I'll check D5, there is still a data. It simply means that this copy has worked, right? This copy has worked, and copy is not trying to refer to the same location, but it is trying to create a new entity. It is trying to take a new memory location, and over there, it is trying to hold a copy of the same variable of D5. So whatever we had inside the D5, it is trying to store it inside some other location, and then it will try to work on that location if I'm trying to do some operations with respect to D6. This is what this copy operation is trying to perform. So hope this entire things is clear to all of us guys, right? So this is all about a dictionary. We are now able to understand how we can create a dictionary, how we can try to add a data, how we can try to update a data, how we can try to use even a inbuilt function. So almost all inbuilt function I have discussed in this particular notebook, as you can see. So just try to practice as much as possible. Let me know if you have any kind of issues, if you are facing any kind of issues, if you're trying some other example, maybe it is not working out for you, because I completely understand that as a beginner, we all make a lot of mistakes. So if there is such kind of a situation, do let me know and I'll try to help you out. So with that, thank you so much everyone. See you again in my next lecture.